Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Educational AD podcast and another segment of our AD Think Tank. We're going to be right back with our guest, but as always, we're going to give a shout out to our sponsors. Don't hit that fast forward button. Please stay with us. It's only going to take about 3 minutes. These are all companies that I used as an AD. You should be using them too. So here we go. We want to say thanks to our good friends at Snap Raise. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks on a fundraiser and been disappointed in the results? Well, those days are gone. Go to snapraise.com. It's hands down the best online fundraiser out there. Go to Snap Raise. You can check out their other great platforms, but if you're looking for a fundraiser that works, go to snapraise.com. We used it at our school with great success. Snapraise.com. We also want to say thanks to our friends at Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure that our school was a Huddle school. And our coaches just loved the tools that Huddle provided. Our student athletes love the videos, and our parents love the streaming, but there's so much more. Go to huddle.com, join the 8 million users. Turn your school into a Huddle school. We want to thank Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their products in action. Probably the best purchase I ever made was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. That's sidelineinteractive.com. We'd like to thank Home Campus. Home Campus is a platform you're going to use every single day, whether it's scheduling, rosters, results. Their athletic eligibility and clearance platform alone is worth the price. Go to homecampus.com to get started. That's it, homecampus.com. We want to say thanks to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com, and their team is going to have you creating world-class content in seconds. Gipper's used and trusted by over 20,000 high school and college programs across the country. And whether it's a social media post celebrating a big win or an entire newsletter showing your stakeholders all the great things you're doing, Gipper is going to have you up and running in no time. It's professional graphic design made easy. Go to Gipper.com to get started. We'd like to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame for their support. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards or to show off your school's Hall of Fame, go to Vital Signs Wall of Fame and take a look at their interactive touch screen. That's right, touch screen video consoles. It's also a great way to share your school's history and brag on your proudest moments. The website is vitalsignswalloffame.com. We'd like to thank Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. My assistant AD got his master's through the Ohio program along with thousands of others, and it was a great experience. It's very affordable, just 20 months, totally online. And he also completed 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. Go to ohio.edu/info/MAA for more information. We'd like to thank our friends at Hometown Ticketing. Hometown is changing the game for schools and organizations with their suite of solutions for digital ticketing, fee-free fundraising, and athletic websites. Whether you're an athletic director, a coach, or a school administrator, Hometown makes it easy for you to save time, raise more money, and bring your community together. You can learn more at hometown.com. That's hometown.com. And we'd like to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. Athletic directors already get feedback, but a lot of times it's from a very small group that just wants to complain. Athletic surveys will connect you to that group, but they're also going to connect you to the 98% of your stakeholders that support your program. And having that information is incredibly valuable, especially when you're visiting with a frustrated parent, maybe your principal, or even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. That's athleticsurveys.com. Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of the AD Think Tank on the Educational AD Podcast. We truly have a friend of the show with us today. Megan Ziegelhofer is the Director of Athletics for Mount Dora Christian Academy. That's right here, Mount Dora, Florida. She's been on the podcast a number of times. She was one of the 10 contributing authors to our book, All Star Athletic Director. It's available on Amazon with the other Toolbox books. And she does a tremendous job with her school. I've had the great good fortune of being on her campus for athletic events as an official for track and field, for some big time championship meets, as well as a basketball official for her boys and girls program. And again, she just does a wonderful job. She's also a member of our FHSAA Athletic Director Advisory Committee. Megan Ziegelhofer, thanks for taking some time to spend with us on the AD Think Tank.
Thank you, Jake. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's February. We're firmly entrenched in winter sports. Playoffs are already here for some of the sports, and spring sports is just around the corner. Um, what do you have for our listeners on this segment of the AD Think Tank?
So today I want to talk a little bit about technology in high school sports this day and age and how it's necessary for us who are trying to build our programs and increase our visibility online, as well as in the private sector, trying to attract, student athletes to visit your school, whether it be for academics or whether it be for programs that you offer. And so just talk a little bit about how technology has impacted our world as athletic administrators, as coaches, and those kind of things.
Again, you and I were talking before we started recording. And for our listeners, Megan does a fantastic job with her program. And I'm excited to see what tools, pardon the use of that word, see what kind of tools she shares with us today.
Awesome. Um, as athletic directors, we juggle all kind of things: practice schedules, game schedules, tournament schedules, statistics, managing coaches, all of those kind of things. And apps like Team Snap and Remind and Max Preps and those kind of things help us coordinate those types of things to make them, easier, get real life updates, notifications on changes, cancellations. It's become the way of our world in this day and age. It's made communication more efficient. It reaches people where they're at, whether it be via email, whether it be via push notification, online as a social media presence. All of those things have allowed families, parents, grandparents, community members to connect instantly with teams, which is a huge benefit for our kids for exposure purposes. Also for parents, just knowing where to go, when to go there, how to buy a ticket for those events. This summer, I partnered with a company called Ballfrog. It's based out of Nashville, Tennessee, and Ballfrog designed an app that is specific to the athletic program at Mount Dora Christian Academy. And inside that app, it houses every team, and every team it houses every schedule. Inside the schedule, you can click on it. It'll give you driving directions. It'll give you ticket links for away games as well as home games. It gives you automatic feedback. If you win a game, you can take a picture right there on your phone, send it in with the score, and it'll pop up. Everything lives inside the app. There's live roster feeds. Kids can upload their huddle accounts if they have different kind of videos and stuff like that. They can upload them to their roster specifically. Coaches, it's a community-based app, so anywhere in the world, anyone can download the app. It's available in the App Store as well as in the Google Play Store. So that part of the app is community based. So if you have a grandparent that lives up north and wants to follow the team, get updates on the team, you can set the notifications to be all notifications or no notifications, push notifications, email. But it allows more visibility for our program. It also has an intimate feature that is specific to our families of our rostered kids that allows them to go in and request access. And then once we approve their access, match them with their athlete, that's where we can put information about, hey, the bus is leaving at 2 p.m. Hey, it's raining today. We're going to go inside the gym versus, down to the field. And those kind of things that we wouldn't necessarily want to put out there for anyone and everyone to see, but that it's the same location for our parents. One really neat thing that it also does is it populates our social media. So it's tied into our social media. So if I post something on social media, it automatically populates into the app. And so the app has been the know all be all for athletics at MDCA. Huge. I did all of these things, but in other venues. The app has brought everything together in one place and allowed us to communicate and have everything consistently across the board. So our parents only have to go to one place, no matter if their kid plays 4 sports, they're all listed in the same venue, which has been a blessing for the program.
Yeah, parents crave information because they're you know this. You're a parent. Your kids don't tell you anything. So, uh, can you share with our listeners what kind of impact this particular app has had for you as an AD, and maybe from a functional standpoint, but maybe a relational standpoint with some of your parents?
Absolutely. So from a functional standpoint, I used to go and enter this information in 50 different areas, and now I'm entering it in one place. It's consistent. It looks the same for every sport. It has made my life a lot easier, streamline the process of I mean, yes, it still has to go in max preps, it still has to do those things, but a lot of times, home campus communicates with this app that communicates with this app, max preps will communicate, so those kind of do it themselves, and those are really more program specific, whereas my app is athletic department specific. So if we have a media day, I can post something in there that can go to all the different teams. It's just super beneficial. The individual emails that I would send out each week to, hey, we're going to Boone High School to play a basketball game. I'd have to send an email to all of those parents. Now I just add it right into the schedule feature in the app, and they can click right on the link and purchase. Now our parents have been trained to go directly there. And so it eliminates like, oh man, I forgot to send an email, or I got tied up. Like I try to do it in the very beginning of the season, get everything taken care of. That way it's already there and they already know where to look. It's been a huge benefit. I've gotten a ton of compliments. My coaches have had a hard time trying to get retrained because they were all doing different things, whether it be, you know, a text group or a remind app or something like that. Team app was a big thing that we used before. Um, this also has given me the ability to take a little breath when it comes to the protection of not only my student athletes but my coaching staffs. So the app will, in a direct message setting, they can use direct message, but anybody who's a team manager on the app can see that direct message. Therefore, you never have students communicating with adults without somebody else being able to see. It pulls me in as an added layer of protection to every chat. Now, I don't get notifications for every chat, but I can go in and view anything and everything that has been sent in the app, whether it be to a parent, whether it be to a group of people, whether it be to an individual student athlete. There is no more, I'm going to text this kid and it can get used against, like, it's a protection feature as well for my coaches.
Oh wow, that's as an added plus for the app. And I was going to say, I bet your coaches appreciate, you know, your aspect or your involvement with this, taking some of that communication job off of their plate, so they can kind of focus more on the fun parts of coaching and not those task aspects of coaching.
Yes, very much so. Some of my coaches are long-winded and they like to send long, detailed informational emails. The app kind of doesn't allow that. It keeps each message to about 500 characters. So some of them have gotten smart and typed it in a Google Doc and then screenshot it so that they can put everything that they want to put in there. And I encourage them to do that if that's the way they want to communicate. I'm just happy they're communicating and that it's all in one place. It's very
What a great feature. I mean, as a coach, I would have loved to have had this 100 years ago. And even as an AD, my task was I was trying to help my coaches do that, find more fun ways to coach and take some of those tasks off their plate. What else do you have to share with our listeners? This is fantastic.
Yeah, so with implementing technology across the board in all of our programs, it's a necessity. You've got people who are doing performance tracking stuff where they're tracking physical activity and sleep patterns and heart rates and recovery, and all of that has become such a stigma in the world of high school and college athletics. And then you look at things like baseball, they can track the exit velo of a baseball that comes off of a bat, and so those types of things have really intensified our sports at the high school and collegiate level. And then you talk about video analysis. Everything is recorded. We have, in most high school settings, you've got, if it's not being live streamed, somebody's recording it somewhere, whether it be a football game, a basketball game, a track meet. Even those things are right there at the fingertips. Kids can make highlight videos that help with their recruiting process. And if you have an instance where you have an ejection, it can be reviewed, sometimes even reviewed from multiple angles. And so, in the day of human error, whether it be student or whether it be official, it protects everybody involved to make sure that the integrity is there, and although sometimes it is a negative thing, it's more a positive with being able to analyze video and being able to track performance and things like that, as well as social media. Social media is a wonderful tool, and it is also a terrible tool if it's used properly. Our kids can be featured and promoted, and we can engage fans from all over the world via our cell phones, which is outstanding. It's given our athletes and our coaches and our teams and our schools a voice that they may not have had before, which is really awesome. It sparked interests, and I don't do Twitter much. Twitter is my least favorite of all the things. I know it is a necessary evil, but it's really given our kids a voice in the community to get themselves out there where that we didn't have before. It's growing. It's almost necessary. Some schools use it, some schools don't. We are a school that heavily focuses on social media presence to promote our student athletes. We do game day graphics for every game. We do, graphics at the end if they win a game. There's a picture and all of that. Just trying to keep people engaged in what we're doing and spread the word. Like, I'm proud of them, and that's exciting. And so it's nice to have a way to show that versus just like making an announcement on the school news in the morning.
Yeah, it's so different with social media. We know our student athletes and a lot of our parents are on social media, and if you're not posting those feel good moments, like I say, either just a short blip about a big win, or maybe even a whole newsletter about all the great things that student athletes and coaches are doing, you got to be on social media. Megan, again, you do such a great job at your program. You're such a great resource for our listeners. If one of them wanted to reach out and pick your brain a little bit more, find out how you do things at Mount Dora Christian, what's the best way that they can connect with Megan Ziegelhofer?
I would say via email. My email address is directly on our school website, which is mdcacademy.org. My direct email address is megan.ziegelhofer@mdcacademy.org. I'm very accessible via email. That's my main source of communication.
Well, thanks again for sharing with our listeners, as always, and all the best with the rest of the 2025 school year.
Thank you so much, Jake.
For listeners, we do this segment just about every week, and every day we try to share stories and best practices from the world of education-based athletics. So come back and join us next time on the AD Think Tank on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Once again, we want to thank every single one of our sponsors and encourage you to go out and check their websites out. Athleticsurveys.com. Also sidelineinteractive.com. Home Campus, that would be homecampus.com. Gipper, of course, gipper.com. The Ohio University Masters in Athletic Administration, that's ohio.edu/info/MAA. Huddle.com and hometownticketing.com. SnapRaise, that's snapraise.com. Vital Signs Wall of Fame.com, and of course, K12sportstech.com. Thanks as always for listening. We'll see you next time on the Educational AD Podcast.